On today's episode of Anime Afterthought, Plunderer episode 4, Ballot Holder. Geez, I am getting whiplash from the back and forth, the up and down roller coaster that is Plunderer. Today's episode seems to have mellowed out the creepy vibes and actually set up a pretty interesting battle. Now, last we left off, Licht has moved on to another town, and as sure as enough, have found a new woman to latch onto. And even though she's part of the military, actively trying to search for Licht, it seems he has no qualms trying to literally date the woman into submission. With the majority of the episode primarily focusing on how creepy and cringy this situation truly was, the last little bit of the episode contained the most interesting tidbit as we return focus to Hina and Nana, and another new member of the military who also seems to be searching for the legendary ace. But unfortunately, this man is not too kind, as he goes as far as using his weird ability to conjure iron-like structures to completely destroy Nana's bar after he deems her to be lying. With today's episode, we pick up right after this. Yes, Lynn and Pele are handing out flyers trying to improve the city that they are stationed at, all the meanwhile still looking out for Licht. After Pele tries to talk Lynn into going under disguise, first as a barmaid and then as a dominatrix, who would have guessed it? Yes, Licht shows up, still dressed as a fucking pudding, leading Lynn, Pele, and in turn, soon the whole town is on this almost joyous, carefree sprint. Like, it's weird. There's almost acting like Licht is not a criminal. I mean, not a wanted man. He even goes as far as, to quote this himself later in the episode, that this town is very weird. There's a known criminal lurking around, and yet everyone is pleasant. Everyone seems very happy. This seems to be partly in due to, Lynn herself. She seems to be a staple of almost a joyous mood, that friendly helping hand you can always trust on. And this is a great example. Remember my original theory about the counts, how they almost come off as a tool of suppression. Although she seems like a genuinely nice person that does care and that actually wants to help, are all these acts carried out because of her good-natured personality, or is it because she's been mind-fucked into thinking, hey, I have to improve my count? Like, we're still way too early to decide that, but still, it's just, you see these. Even Nana later in the episode goes, hey, I have to have this bar. We have to repair it before we move on and, go anywhere. I have to have this because I need compliments. I need to improve my score, or at least, keep it at a high enough level. I don't know, it just really makes you think. Now, after the chase ends with Licht honestly disappearing, which, a simple jump for him, we get another example of, Lynn being, the good-natured person she is, being confronted by the town folks about a possible boyfriend, giving a stern talking to a child that just stole, then in turn offering anytime he is hungry, just come to the guard shack and I'll give you, I can help you out. A plethora of old people who want massages and shit. So it's like, she obviously is, the center of this good vibe that's coming from this town. I mean, Licht's, above everything just watching this, even though, she has her own goal of actually catching Licht so she can be promoted. As soon as she breaks a little girl's doll, she has to stop everything, stop her pursuit, because she knows the history of this doll, the history of the girl. It was a gift from her mother, and it's priceless to this little girl. Obviously, she can't fix it, so who comes in to save the day? Yes, Pudding Man. And then we enter another shoujo effect going on, where the chase begins again, but of course, it is soon to be interrupted. Yes, the military man that we saw in last week's episode, the one that completely destroyed Nana's bar, the one that is in hot pursuit of Licht, the ability to somehow just summon these iron spikes and spears and giant columns. Yes, with a fitting name of jail. Literally can make a prison. I mean, that's pretty on the nose right there. And even although this premature attack on Licht almost hurt Lynn, we do get a pretty big piece of information in today's episode. I've been so curious about ballot holders. See, a ballot is a mysterious object that grants not only another count to an individual, but depending on the ballot itself, I believe the count associated with said ballot, it gives the ballot holder special abilities. As we see in a diagram, showed off by Lynn. So while it's not power scaling per se, we can assume that the higher number you have on said count, either A, the ability to be like way more powerful, or maybe you could get multiple abilities. We just don't know yet, but it is interesting to see that there is a direct connection between said ballots and, all these special abilities that we've seen so far. Now, is Licht's high speed ability, linked to his? We can kind of assume so much because as we see at the end of the episode, how it's setting up an amazing battle between Jail and Licht. Jail, whose number looks like it surpasses Licht's at a staggering 12,500. He too seems to possess the ability to, move at incredibly fast speeds and jump really far. I mean, he gets, the drop on Licht as he's trying to escape, summons these giant iron pillars to basically separate him and Licht from the others. holders. So yeah, while it's, like I said, it's not an exact power scaling per se, there seems to be a correlation between one's number, one's count, at least when it comes to ballots, and, you know, one's strength. All in all, you know what? I enjoyed today's episode way more than last week's. I mean, some people are saying they enjoyed last week's. It came off very too much, too far. It's just, you know what? It came off too heavy. This one, they dialed it back. You know, it was more playful than anything. It was great to get more information on ballots and ballot holders, but the best thing about today's episode is the fight they just set up. Yes, the battle between the legendary ace Licht and the military might of Jail. Honestly, I was shocked that he got the drop on Licht. So going forward, I really want to see, you know, a pretty badass battle. I think we might get it. So with all that being said, I honestly cannot wait for future episodes.